Now that we have the property lines drawn, we're going to move on to step 9. We're going to figure out where the house is. We're going to first do a couple of offsets to locate the corner of the house, and then we'll start drawing the house. So step 9 tells us we need to set our construction layer current. Got it? And then it tells us we need to offset the left property line over 45 feet and the bottom property line up 35 feet. And the intersection of those two lines is going to be where we're going to start our house. But remember, we're not going to type that little foot symbol in there because the foot symbol means minutes, right? So we're going to start the offset command. Right when you start that command, you got to remember to go do this. And we don't have dynamic input turned on, so we need to do this over here. You can either type L, enter, because it's the capital letter and it's also a blue color, or you can just click on the word layer. We need to make sure that when we do an offset, we set it to the current layer. That way, when we do the offset, it'll come in on the construction layer and not the source layer, which is our property line. So it wants to know how much to offset it. So we're going to say 45 degree or 45 unitless, 45 feet, but we're leaving it unitless. Enter. Click on the left line, click inside. Enter to end the command, enter to repeat the command, and now we're going to do 35 feet unitless. Bottom and up, press enter. That got us to where the house is going to be. So now what we need to do, the house is going to start at that little corner right here. We're going to come over here and set the house layer current. Now, if you don't like that blue color, it is totally fine to change the color. As long as you use one of these index colors, we're going to be plotting this thing in black and white. So it doesn't really matter which color you use. And I know that that dark blue is really hard to see against the black background. So you can choose whatever color you want as long as it's an index color. Just in this case, I'm going to make it, let's make it magenta. As long as it's an index color. If you try to go to these true colors, tons of colors to choose from, you can be really creative here, but those don't know what monochrome means. So when you get ready to plot, these are going to print in the actual color, even though you set it to monochrome. Only these index colors know what black and white means. So I'll say okay to this. And now my house layer is magenta, just so we can see it a little bit better for this demonstration. If you're fine with it blue, that's totally fine. So we've set the house layer current. Now we're going to draw the footprint of the house. Now when we're drawing it, it does tell us all of these are perfectly horizontal. So if you want to turn your ortho on, just to make sure that you're making perfectly straight lines, that is totally okay. So we'll come over here, start drawing the line command. Click here. That was just our beginning. I'm going to go ahead and turn on ortho because I do think it's a lot easier. I could either come down here and click on the little right angle, or I can just hit F8 and I know that I'm making a perfectly straight line. So I'm going to come over here, 43, again unitless, bring it up 42, oops, zoom out a little bit, over 24, and I am missing a dimension here, and that is really important. We want to keep that dimension missing, and I'll explain to you kind of as we finish here. So let's go up. This one is 55. We're going to go over 19, and we're just going to come down to the end point here. The reason that we left this line off is because, and surveyors do this all the time, when you look at a mortgage survey, you'll see this dimension left off, and it's just to kind of cover the land surveyors. They don't have anything to do with building this house. The house is existing. They go out to the property, they take dimensions and measurements. If there are any kind of legal issues with the size of the house, or it got built wrong, or there's something on somebody's properties where their documents are going to be brought into court, they don't really want to have anything to do with that. So they leave this one dimension off. Sometimes you'll leave a couple of dimensions. You can add it up to figure out what it is, but they leave those off on purpose. So when we get ready to dimension ours, we are still going to leave that dimension off on purpose. Whatever it is, I don't even know what that dimension is. It is whatever it ended up being. So that's it. Next step, we're going to be doing the building lines and the PUE, the public utility easement. So that'll be the next video.